Hi, Mr. Shorten. Thank you for joining us. It's my pleasure. So the Morrison government has indicated to cancel visas for convicts and criminals who were sentenced to in prison for more than 2 years. However, you and your MPs strongly rejected it. Why did you reject it?
Oh, no, let's be clear here. We don't want people who are criminals to take advantage of our laws. But what we also want to do is to make sure that we've got consistent policy. So the treatment of people who are convicted criminals, they shouldn't be able to stay in Australia. Like, we think that if you come here as a guest and then you break the law, then their visas need to be reviewed. So I don't think it's right to say that we're automatically against treating criminals as criminals, because we do.
Okay, so the House and Senate has passed the refugee medical transfer bill that was introduced by the Labour Party. However, Liberal has been heavily criticizing it. You have indicated that they have misinterpreted this bill. What is the truth on your side?
The truth is this. If you are very sick, you should, and you're in Australia's care, you should receive the treatment that your doctors recommend. But at no stage do we support releasing people into the community if they've got concerns about their criminality. Under our proposals, only one man can let them into the community, that's the minister. But if someone's really sick, I'm not going to have someone die somewhere if we can get the medical care first.
Sure.
That's a very basic decency. The government still retains discretion about keeping people in detention, and that hasn't changed. But if treating doctors think that someone's very sick, say you've got kidney stones, which is very painful, and you can't get that treated on Manus or Nauru, well, I'm not going to let someone die when I can keep them in detention and make sure they get the treatment here before sending them back. We're going to have strong borders. Criminals are not welcome in this country, but we've also got an obligation to not let people die in our care.
Yeah, got it. Obviously, the Labour Party has lost New South Wales this time. Why do you think Labour lost it this time? Michael Daly's alleged racist comments have obviously made negative impacts in districts such as Kogarah that are heavily populated by Chinese. What do you think about his comments? Is there any clarification you would like to make?
Well, first of all, the state election was fought on largely state issues, but there's always lessons, and you can't take voters for granted. In terms of Mr Daly's comments, they were wrong. Not only shouldn't he have said them, you shouldn't think it. So they were wrong. I think he's done the right thing. And he's done the right thing and stepped down.
Yep.
And I think that was the right thing to do too.
Okay, of course. There has been some controversies around the Chinese social networking platforms such as WeChat to have an influence in federal elections. You yourself have an official account on it called Bill Shorten and Labour. What do you think about this controversy?
Well, I think that social media is a valuable tool. It's the way people keep in touch. We've always got to make sure that lies and the wrong things don't get said, and people are encouraged to think propaganda or to just tell things which aren't correct. But I think WeChat's an excellent service, so I'm happy to be on it.
Of course, and get connected with Chinese.
And get connected, and that's the point. Yep. I often think, this is a personal thing, people shouldn't be anonymous.
Yep.
If you're going to say something about someone, put your name to it.
There has been some tensions between China and Australia. What do you think about this tension? And obviously, earlier you said that you will not follow the lead of the US by portraying China as a strategic threat. Yeah. How are you thinking about resolving this tension between Australia and China?
Well, I do think the current government has got the relationship out of balance. Yep. They've had too much language which is just simply trying to blame China, and I think that's been unhelpful. America's an important ally of Australia, and that will always be the case. But the rise of China is a good thing, and the opportunities for Australia to more deeply engage with China, I think, are good for our country. So I take a very constructive and positive approach about the rise of China. We don't have to look through the prism of threat or indeed other people's arguments. I believe Australian foreign policy should be conducted with an Australian accent, not anyone else's accent.
So last few questions.
Sure.
The Liberal Party has introduced FIT, Foreign Influence Transparency Scheme. Many Chinese think that this scheme is targeted at China and Chinese. What do you think about it?
I think it is important that we don't have anyone from overseas interfering with Australian elections. That should be decided by the people of Australia. But I would just say that footage has emerged today of the One Nation Party, who've got some quite racist views in their ranks, engaging with the American gun lobby to try and influence Australia. So it's not about one country, it's about making sure that the Australian people determine the political direction of Australia, not outside influence. But I don't see it as a China measure. Again, I'm very pleased that we have a big Chinese Australian community. No one is ever unhappy when a Chinese Australian family moves next door. You know, you've got those values of neighbourliness, love of family, the hard work ethic. So I think that, be it Mr Daly's remarks, government foreign policy statements, the One Nation Party, you know, we need to actually stick together. We're an immigrant country, and I just wanted to say through to all your viewers, China's Australian community is a net plus for this country. It's good.
If you are to use one sentence to sum up the core values of the Labor Party, what would it be?
Family, hard work, good health, quality education, make sure that no one gets left behind. Everyone gets to live the Australian dream.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Thank you.